This is the second video, or it could be the first depending on when you decided to watch it, in a series of videos where I'm going to make a potpourri bowl, which is a bowl that holds potpourri in it with the screen right here. If you already watched the other video, you know what I'm talking about, in which I used BAMX material, which is special material from a gentleman, Ryan Drapella, and his company, CIC, or Cutting It Close Workshop. And I just thought it would be really an interesting design to go ahead and layer up some material and use it, and that's exactly what you'll see in this video. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Maybe I'll put a picture in the video here that you can see up front as a preview of what you're going to see when it's all said and done. So in this video, we're going to go from A to Z on how we glued up the material, how we set it up on the machine, and how we actually carved it and in what order. Hopefully you'll enjoy watching me cut this project. I know I had a good time doing it, and I also know that I'm going to do more glue-ups with that BAMX material to try different projects. I'm really getting into using the Aspire program these days to create things like trays and bowls and stuff, and it's quite a thrill. For me, I'm having fun being creative, and I'll share those projects with you when I can. It's a lot of work for me to try to do these videos. I don't come from a history of making videos, and so I'm learning every day. And I hope that me taking the time to do this is of benefit to others, because I benefited from other YouTube content creators in the past when I first started getting into my CNC projects, and it's been really helpful for me. So that's my goal, is to take the stuff that I'm learning. I don't profess to be the best expert, but what I learn, I'm willing to pass on. And if you have insights or tips for me, that'd be great. So with that, let's go ahead and get started in cutting this BAMX potpourri bowl. As discussed in the introduction part of this video, I started by gluing up layers of BAMX along with some maple, and then I decided to go ahead and layer a couple other pieces on the side so I could make the block of material wide enough to get the size of bowl I wanted in it. And so that's what this second glue up is, as you see me gluing a couple pieces on the side and getting ready to be able to carve the bowl the size I want after I finally designed it. So I'm now going to mount this to my spoiler, and I tried initially to try to mount it through some long screws, but I cracked out the wood. To make this so that I could get the bowl the size I wanted, you'll see I added a couple extra pieces on the side. That's only so that when I carve this out, there is some solid material to hold the block together. And so that's where we're headed, and the best way to hold this down, I'm going to do it in two ways. The first way is I'm going to do the blue tape and CA method, and then I'll see if there's another way I can put some clamps or some screws through it. I'm having a little difficulty because of the thickness for screws. Even though I screwed down into it, I tended to crack out the material on where it was, so I'm going to work through that, and you'll watch me do that in the video. So the first one is I'm going to do the blue tape and CA method. So I'm going to first put it next to my stops that I have on here. I have two stops in the little middle here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark that for myself to make it easy for the blue tape and CA which areas I need to cover. So now that I've done that, I've made sure my top is all cleaned to the best of my ability. I'm going to go ahead and apply the blue tape. And one of the key things when you're applying the blue tape is to make sure that you burnish it down. And so I'll make sure I do that. Okay, I've got that pretty secure. As you can see, it's shaking my whole CNC. So I think we're pretty secure, but I don't want to take a chance. So I'm going to look for one other way, a screw down in there, some other way to hold this down. And so I'm going to go back and look at my picture and map out the areas where I might be able to put a fastener in there. At this point in the process, I have this well held down for right now, and I'm not too worried about it moving. I've got CA and blue tape. That should be enough. I would normally put some screws through here, but I don't have a drill long enough to screw all the way through. And when I was trying to do that before I split out the wood, and I don't want to take a chance on not having a pilot hole all the way through this and then splitting out my glue up. So with that, that's why I decided to go ahead and do some makeshift clamping here. And I've got all that done. I've marked the center of my glue up. And so I'm going to go Z, not Z, I'm going to go put my XY right here in the center. And then I'll be ready to start carving by putting the right bits in and going in the right order. So that's what I'm doing now. So I put a V bit in place to make it as accurate as possible. So my X should be online there. And I think my Y is online. I'll do one last look with my glasses on. There, I think I'm right in the middle of that X. So X marks the spot, Y marks the spot, X, Y, 0. So now my 0 is set for the job. So now we're all set to start carving. Everything's held down. I've got everything so that it shouldn't move. I've got my Golden Boy XL here, so it's a big daddy. It's 1.5 inches cutting length. And so I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a couple of alignment holes so that when I flip this thing over, I have it perfectly aligned when I'm carving. And then the next carve you're going to see is this Golden Boy Hagen material out. I've got it set at 120 inches per minute, 0.5 inch depth pass. So I'm hoping it's going to hold together and not break. I see Ryan testing this thing all the time, so I'm going down 1/2 inch pass depth. And once I get that all roughed out, then I'll switch over to a ball nose for finishing the top side of the bowl. So that's where we're headed right now. First thing I need to do is to go ahead and Z this material. And I set the Z for this off the bed. So now what you're going to see for the next few seconds is doing the alignment holes first, and then we're going to switch over to doing the rough cut of the top of the bowl using the Golden Boy XL rougher bit. And I'm going to speed this up considerably. We're now ready for the finish cut. I'm going to be using a ball nose from Amana 46294. It's a 1/4 inch slightly tapered ball nose. You'll notice though I have taken off one of the wooden hold downs here because I don't want to take a chance of the collet. It was coming close with the other one. I don't want to take a chance with the collet hitting it because this one is going to be deeper. So I removed it because it doesn't have the same upcut force that the rougher does. I should be fine, but I will be watching the collet, and if it gets close, then you might see me remove this block over here. It shouldn't be any problem here because it doesn't even come over next to this clamp. So if everything goes as planned, it'll just go through. You won't see me stop it. If you do see me stop it, it's just because of my nervousness about the collet hitting this piece of wood. With that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, we cut the top part of the bowl. The next part is to cut a little bowl inside of this bowl top for the potpourri to sit in and a screen. Okay, the next step in this process is to use this finishing bit. And it's a down cut so that I don't pull up any fibers. And I'm going to put a track in here for this potpourri screen. And then once the track is in there, then I'll put a bowl inside of that so you can put the potpourri in the bowl. And this is the top. So the first thing I want to do is put the track in there. And I may or may not be able to push this down in there because I may need the bowl also. So if I can, then I'm going to trial fit. If I can't, then I'll have to do the bowl and then I'll trial fit it and make any adjustments as necessary. As I suspected, I can't really fit the screen in until the bowl's done. So that's the next step, is to build the bowl. So now we're going to do a roughing pass for this bowl. Okay, the next pass is going to be with a ball nose to just give you a little more rounded corner and finish here, and that's where we're headed. You'll notice we got a ball nose bit in here. I've zeroed it off the floor or the machine bed, and the last cut is to smooth out the inside of this potpourri bowl to hopefully have less sanding. we got the top all carved out. I think it's looking pretty cool with the racing stripe and everything else. And now the next step is to turn it over, and you can see where we have the tabs halfway through the bowl that we'll have to cut off and then sand away when we're done. But it's what's going to hold the bowl in after we turn it over. So that's the next step, is turning the bowl over. All right, the top's been done. The next step in the process, I already drilled alignment holes in the top. So the next step in the process is to drill alignment holes here, flip the board over, and then secure it down. And so that's what I'll be doing next. The first step of the alignment process is to drill a couple dowel holes, and then we'll put some dowels in next. So this is the top part of the bowl, and we turn it sideways based on how we set up the file. So now we've turned it sideways, put the dowels in, line up the piece. And sometimes it's easier if I pull these out to line it up. Okay, that's that one. There we go. Okay, so this is in there nice and tight. And I'm going to go ahead and put this clamp back on here. And I'll go ahead and put this clamp back on over here in this corner. Actually, it probably would be good to have it just in an opposite corner. So I'm going to put it over here. And what I'll actually do is I'm going to take this out. Okay, between these, this thing should be secured and not go anywhere. The next step will be to go ahead and use that same rougher bit to do the roughing of the bottom. So at this point, we've got everything settled in, time to do the roughing cut on the bottom. It's estimated to be 17 minutes. Okay, folks, this is our final tool path for this bowl. Then I will cut off the tabs and cut it out. I'm kind of excited, sure hoping it turns out as good as I think it should. All right, let's go. All right, I stopped the cut because while I was sitting there, I heard something crack, came over to look, and when you hear strange noises, you check it out. This popped right here. So that means there might be some stress over here that's pulling on this, or it may have been the original stress. In any event, I want to make sure that somehow this doesn't come loose or break. And so I'm going to make sure this is secured before I continue with the cut. And I'll pick up where I left off. At this point, you can see I've taken the wooden clamp that had the break in it and replaced it with an aluminum clamp and made sure it's nice and tight. And so now we're all set to go ahead and start the rest of this cut. Okay, everything's carved. I gotta admit, I'm kind of anxious to see it. What about you? First thing I'll do is get my work area cleaned up, and then you'll see me switch to my saw that I have, a little saw that I can come in and cut out those tabs with. And once that's out, look, the bowl's out and looking pretty good. After taking a few minutes to admire my work and pretty happy with how this thing turned out, it turned out nice and clean. It won't need a lot of sanding. I go ahead and get a little sander, little belt sander that I can use to sand off those tabs. Normally I'd use a flush trim bit, but there's no flat area for me to use that with, so I'm just going to manually do this. The second to last step in this project was no way around it, doing sanding. But my Surf Prep sander with its sponge pads made it much easier to do, and it was kind of a breeze. Took me about 20 minutes. That's the end of cutting the bowl. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you picked up a trick or two. Some of the key things that I found interesting as I was going through the process of this thicker bowl. This was my second CNC cut bowl. My first one was one where I had done a heart-shaped bowl from a gentleman named Corbin Dunn, Corbin's Treehouse. And I learned a couple ideas about hold downs then that I tried to incorporate into this video. And so a couple things I just want to summarize that I thought were important. Number one was that I originally thought I could hold this bowl down by putting some screw holes through here. So I countersunk them so that I wouldn't, if I hit them, there wasn't a problem that I wouldn't hit them. So I put a hole in here originally with one of these bits. I can't remember what the name of this bit is, but if you can, give it to me in the comment. So I sunk it down so it would be countersunk, and then I tried to drill through it. But none of my drill bits were long enough to go all the way through and go into the material. So what happened the first time I did that, I ended up cracking out this material. And so I learned that if I want to hold it down with screwing it through, I'm going to either have to get some longer drill bits or figure out another way to it. So I had to improvise and create different clamps, and I figured it out. But so one of my lessons learned is make sure you're aware of how you're going to be able to clamp this down before you start the project. And I'm starting to experiment with other things. Maybe you can see it over here. This is for my next bowl project that I did. And this one here, I'm using a temporary spoiler board. And I've got a couple stops in here, some tape, and you'll see that in another video that I do later. So make sure you have a good hold down methodology scoped out before you start the project and don't have to kind of wing it like I did in the end. The other one is how well it worked out having multiple tool paths, incorporating roughing bits along with finishing bits such as a downcut end mill or a ball nose in doing this project. With that said, I do hope you picked up a trick or two. And again, as always, subscribing to the channel is a big help, especially if you want to pick up learnings from the future videos that I make. And smashing the like button is good. Comments always help. And I hope you're having some time to get out in the shop, learn things, have fun, and make the most out of life. It's not as long as we think it's supposed to be, and might as well get out there and do something fun while you can. Until we meet back in this channel, once again, wishing you the best.